All right, welcome to ACL Hot Minute with me, Mick. We've got episode number 3 today, and I'm reviewing a paper by Zhang and colleagues published in 2025 titled "Does Proprioceptive Training Improve Joint Function and Psychological Readiness in Patients After ACL Reconstruction? A randomized control trial." So I like this paper because it provided a really nice real-world example of how general population might handle rehab in those first 12 weeks. And certainly from me in my own clinical practice, I'm guilty of prioritizing strength and range of movement, swelling control, and all those things in ACL rehab. And sometimes I may neglect some of the detailed proprioceptive work in favor for some other things I'm trying to give to the patient. So this was a really nice eye-opener for me and some really meaningful results here that we're about to go through. So the authors enrolled 48 participants to start with. They had 24 in each group. All the participants were aged between 18 and 49, and they had an ACL reconstruction using hamstring autograft tissue. They had effectively 2 interventions. So the one group, which we titled the control group, they kind of went through a stock standard ACL rehab for 12 weeks with a little bit of supervision from physios, but mostly conducted at home and independently. So the traditional group across the 12 weeks did our classic, quietening the knee program early. So just some gait re-education, quad sets, protected weight bearing, all those kind of things that are pretty classic of any post-operative management plan, with the gradual progression in load and exercises over the 12-week period. That would be pretty standard. The details of the protocol are in the paper that I share, so click on the link and follow the protocol there if you want some more detail. The proprioceptive group did exactly the same protocol, but they added proprioceptive exercises in from week 3 and carried them through to week 12. So between week 3 to week 5, they started off with some basic balance drills, very simple, standing on one leg, eyes open, eyes closed, and some really simple balance reach tasks. Added in some weight-bearing exercises such as squats and some walking drills, and even included some backwards walking as well. Week 6 through to week 12, they upped the ante a little bit with some more challenging balance work, some single leg squats, some lateral movements, some figure 8 walking, so on and so forth. Once again, the details of what they did are in the protocol of the paper that I share. So ultimately a pretty low tech kind of program, but one that would be pretty easily applied to home settings, individual settings without any use of gym equipment, and it gives patients an option to really get some decent rehab done at home. So I like the real world application of this paper. The outcome measures they looked at primarily were the IKDC questionnaire, which is a measure of knee symptoms and function. They looked at confidence and readiness to return to sport with the ACL-RSI questionnaire. They looked at pain at rest and after a 6-minute walk test. And they also looked at Y balance test. And all these measures were done before the intervention and then at the 12-week follow-up period. So the results. The results at 12 weeks were really fascinating. So compared to the control group, the proprioceptive group showed significantly better results in terms of the IKDC questionnaire, better psychological readiness via the ACL-RSI, and better Y balance scores. Pain wasn't necessarily there was no difference between the groups when it came to pain. So in terms of balance, readiness, confidence, really big improvements there with the proprioceptive group. So I like this paper, but there's a couple of things I did want to flag. This is very much so short-term data. This is only after a very short window of time, so 12 weeks post-op, and this is definitely not an indication of whether or not these people will still be doing well at 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months, and it doesn't give us a really good snapshot of how these guys and girls, males and females, will go when it comes to return back to sport readiness later on down the track. But from an early intervention point of view, to lay a good groundwork and lay a good baseline of strength and function and confidence, it's a really nice, neat study that really lays some good improvements down in this study. And what I did like about it too, with the protocol they did, the proprioceptive group, it sort of taught us that there's a really nice minimum effective dose to get a good, meaningful outcome. So 4 times a week of balance exercises, which you'll see in the paper, done every second day, in addition to that home rehab, is a really nice way to get these really nice results for your patients. And ultimately, what I also liked about it was that they did start to track confidence early. So the ACL-RSI is a really important measure through those middle to late stages as the person starts to get back onto the field or onto the court. So if you're starting to pick up some numbers now and track changes over time, it can really, I guess, allow you and your patients to grow confidence together. It also allows you to have conversations, because if the confidence is low, then we can have meaningful conversations about how we can improve that confidence through graded exposure, or tease out of the patient, where they're lacking confidence in, so you can help guide them through the journey, because ultimately readiness to return to sport and confidence is a really important construct of ACL rehab. So look, a nice neat paper. There's obviously a few little things about it that aren't perfect, but no study or trial is. But from a nice practical application and comparing one cohort that didn't do proprioceptive work versus a cohort that did, there's certainly some really strong claims here to say proprioceptive training can and should be added, and we all know it should be. It's just a matter of, do we neglect it sometimes over the more other things such as strength, range of movement, fitness, pain reduction, whatever it may be. So this is a really clear message, not only for myself, but for everyone to, don't neglect those balance exercises. They certainly lay a great foundation of confidence and strength, control, coordination in those early important stages after ACL reconstruction. So that's Mick's Hot Minute. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked the breakdown. This paper is a full, free, open access paper, so feel free to click on the link below, dive into yourself to get a bit more detail in there. But as a nice bird's eye summary of this paper, hope you enjoyed it. And until the next episode, take care.